Hachette Audio presents The Tetris Effect, the game that hypnotized the world, written and read by Dan Ackerman. Part 1. Chapter 1, The Great Race. The airplane lurched into a final descent towards Moscow. Hank Rogers gripped the warm armrest wedged against him. Years of circling the globe, chasing business deals and new technologies had left him feeling like a well-traveled citizen of the world, but this was something altogether different. He looked around the shaking cabin with some trepidation. He had spent the last 11 hours on a flight jointly operated by Japan Airlines and Aeroflot, the notorious Soviet state airline that allowed the Russians a hand in the business of actually carrying paying passengers across the Pacific and over the Russian continent. Eyes fixed on the seat back in front of him, he asked himself what was worse, going in blind to a strange city in a strange country without speaking a word of the language, or agreeing to enter one of the world's most notorious international flashpoints under false pretenses. The paperwork for his tourist visa to Moscow felt heavy in his jacket pocket. Rogers had no doubt that if he was caught lying about his reasons for visiting the USSR, the powerful business interests bankrolling his mission would cut him loose without a thought. They had built enough plausible deniability into the deal that he'd appear to be just another economic opportunist, looking to slice off a piece of Soviet prosperity for himself at the expense of the people. He wondered how what should have been a simple software licensing deal had taken him from Japan, where he had lived for years, to the USSR, tasked with chasing down the shadowy arm of the Soviet government while staying one step ahead of a pair of powerful corporate mercenaries who would stop at nothing to steal away the prize. To fly into the heart of the Soviet Union in the late 1980s was to take an uncertain step behind the feared Iron Curtain, a political and psychological barrier that kept 280 million citizens locked away from the Western world. Secret police ears were still everywhere in Moscow during the final years of the Cold War. Visiting tourists, businessmen, and even journalists could expect their phones to be tapped and their hotel rooms to be bugged, or even to be tailed around town by a boxy Lada sedan, the preferred vehicle of dark-suited government minders. Yet a new reality had started to replace the traditional East versus West rivalry. A spirit of glasnost, or openness, was the Communist Party's official marching order of the day, and with it came an influence both craved and feared: foreign money. It was into this charged environment that Hank Rogers flew on February 21, 1989. He was one of three competing Westerners descending on Moscow nearly simultaneously. Each was chasing the same prize, an important government-controlled technology that was having a profound impact on people around the world. That technology was perhaps the greatest cultural export in the history of the USSR, and it was called Tetris.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?